No, welcome to Kendra's Artistic Crochet Designs. And we are going to finish our ghost diamond. And we're going to start with row 26. Alright, so from here on out, we're going to do something different than what we've been doing. We're going to chain one and turn. Instead of chaining two and turning, we're just going to chain one and turn. Alright, we are going to slip stitch in the first two stitches, and then in the third stitch we're going to put the square in there as we've been doing, and then we're going to switch over to our blue, and then we need to put 5 blue in next. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so you'll chain 1 and turn, and then slip stitch down the first 2 stitches. That will start the row every time now, and that is how we're decreasing our rows. So last row was 25 squares. This row will be 24. This is a corner that we just created. All right, and then we need to go to our white, and then we need 1 white and 2 blue. So there's 1 and 2, and then we need
she was on your bed.
So we're going to go to the white, and we need 4 white now. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then now we're going to go to black and put 2 black in. So there's 1, and 2. And then we're going to go back to our white. We need to put 1 white in next, and then 1 black. Back to the black and put a black in. And then we can leave that black behind because we're done with the black in this row. Go back to the white and put 2 white in. All right, and then we need to go to our blue, and we need 4 blue and an orange at the end to finish off this row. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we go to our orange, and we used to finish off up here, but because we're decreasing on both ends, we're going to finish off here at the bottom of this orange in that stitch. This will be our last stitch from now on. And then we need to slip stitch right here, and that creates this corner. So like I said, at the end of this row, you should have 24 squares. And the next row will have 23, the next row will have 22. So we're decreasing, and it'll decrease by 1 every row. Like when we started it out, it increased by 1, and now it's going to decrease by 1. So anyway, that is row 26 finished. All right. So row 27, we're going to chain 1 and turn. And we are going to slip stitch in the first 2 stitches. And then start our square in that 3rd stitch with our orange. And then we need to go to blue and put 4 blue in. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we need to go to our white and we need 1 white, and then we need 2 black next. So there's 1, and this one is 2. And then go back to our white and put 1 white in again. And then we need to go back to our black and put 1 black in. Alright, so that finishes off the black. Then we're going back to the white, and now we need to put 4 white in. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we need our blue, and we need 2 blue and 2 white. Oh, wait a minute, I think we left that white behind. Yes, we did. We need to bring that white with us. So there's 1, and 2, and then we need to go back to our white, put 2 white in. Alright, we're done with the white. Now we need to go to our blue, and we're going to finish this row off with 4 blue and an orange at the end. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Leave the blue behind, and again, this is where our end last stitch is now, right before that orange. It's the stitch before the orange. Alright, and there we go. So there is row 27 with 23 squares. Alright, let's mark off that row and go to row 28. Alright, so I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and start out our first block with the orange as usual. Alright, and then we need to go to our blue, and we're going to put 4 blue in. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we're going to switch over to the white then. We need to put 1 white and 2 blue in. Alright, there's the white. Now we need 2 blue. And then we'll switch back over to the white, and we need 7 white and then 1 black. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then as we do number 6, we need to bring this black up with us. So there's 6. And this is 7. Alright, and then we need our 1 black. And we can leave that behind. Now we need 2 white. And then we're done with the white for this row. We need to go to blue, and we're going to finish this row off with 3 blue and an orange at the end. Alright, so there is our little ghost so far. So that is row 28 and what it should look like. Alright, let's mark that row off and get ready for 29. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. And we'll start this row off with the orange as usual. And then we're going to switch over to blue and put 3 blue in. Alright, and then we need our white. And we need 1 white and 1 black. leaving the black behind and going back to the white. Um, we are putting 7 white in. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, and so then we need to go to our blue, and we need to put 2 blue, 2 white in next. So 2 blue, and 2 white. All right, and then we're going to switch back over to blue, and we're going to finish off this row with 3 blue and an orange at the end. Switching over to our orange to finish off the row. All right, that is row 29. And what it should look like, let's mark that row off. All right, so let's chain 1 and turn for 30. And we're going to start off with our orange as usual. And then switch over to our blue. And we need to put 3 blue in. So there's 1. 2. And 3. And then we need to switch over to our white, and we need 2 white and 1 blue. All right, switching over to our blue. And then we're going to switch back over to the white, and we need 5 white and 1 black. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we need to bring this black over here, down here. We're just going to put the 1 black here, and we're going to leave it behind because that's the only time we'll use it in this row. We need to switch over to the white and put 4 white in. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to switch over to blue, and we're going to finish this row off with 2 blue and an orange at the end. So there's 1, and 2. Switching over to our orange. And that is what row 30 looks like. Our ghost is starting to take shape. So this is what row 30 looks like, and you should have 20 rows or squares. 20 squares in this row. Let's mark that off. All right, let's chain 1 and turn for 31. And we're going to slip stitch in the first 2 and start our square in the 3rd. All right, and then we need to go to our blue, and we're going to put 2 blue in. So there's 1, and 2. And then we need to put our white, go to our white, and we're going to put 3 white and 2 black. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Switching over to our black, we need to put 2 black in next. So there's 1, and 2. Now we'll switch back over to the white, and we need 4 white, 4 white, 2 blue, 2 white. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we need our blue again. So we could put 2 blue in. Going to our white, and we need 2 white. And then we're going to finish off this row with 2 blue and an orange at the end. All right, and this is what our ghost looks like now. So row 31 is done. We'll get ready for row 32. So chain 1 and turn. All right, we'll start off with the orange. And then go to our blue. And we need 2 blue. All right, and then we need to go to our white. We need 1 white and 2 blue. So there's a white. Now we need 2 blue. All right, and go back to the white. So we need 2 white, 1 blue, 2 white. All right. right, there's 2 white, 1 blue, 2 white. And then we need 2 black after this. And bring up our black. Alright, and then we need 2 white, 2 blue, and 1 orange to finish off this row. Done with the white. Now we need 2 blue. And an orange. Alright, and there is our little ghost so far, and that's row 32. And what it should look like. Little ghosty is so cute. Alright. Alright, so row 33, we're going to chain 1 and turn. And we'll start out with the orange, and then we need to go to our blue, and we need to put 2 blue in. And then switching over to our white. Is that right? We need 5 white. So there's 1, 2, I don't think it's 5, it should be 4. On this third one, let's bring up this black because we're going to need it. Actually should be 3. Alright. Go to the black. and put a black in right here. And then switch back over to white. We need 2 white. Nope, this ain't right. Nope, there's something wrong with this row. Hang on a second. Alright, so there is... Yeah, I'm going to take that out for right now. Figure out what I did wrong here. Hang on a second. We did something wrong. Alright, let's see. That's right, there should be 18 there. And then we should be going down to 17, 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's see, where is my... Alright. We're actually, until I figure this out, we would be back in a moment. Okay, so we're going to redo 33. Okay, so this is 33, but first of all, before we get started on this, we are done with this black, so we do not need that black anymore. I'm going to cut it off. That's what was getting me all messed up. I thought that was black in here. It's that dark blue. All right, so anyway, we are going to start out with our orange. So we're starting over with 33. This is row 33. And then we need our 2 blue. And then we're going to switch over to our white. And we need 5 white next. So there's 1. 2. 3. and 5. Alright, then we need to go back to our blue and put 1 blue in, and then back to our white. Now we need 2 white, and then we're done with that white, and then we need our blue. So we are needing 5 blue and an orange to finish off this row. So there's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we switch over to our orange and finish it off with the orange. And now there's our little ghost. Alright. Alright, now that makes sense. Okay, so we just finished off row 33. We're going to mark that row off. And then 34, we're going to chain 1 and turn. And we'll start out with our orange like normal. And then go to our blue. And we need to put 5 blue in. So there's 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Alright, so then we can go to our white, and we're going to put 1 white and 2 blue next. So there's the white, and we'll go back to our blue. So we get 2 blue, and then we go back to our white, and we need 4 white. So there's 1. 2. 3. and 4. All right, and then we need to finish off this row with 2 blue and an orange at the end. All right, and that is row 34 and what our ghost should look like now. And we'll mark that row off. And go on to 35. In row 35, we should be down to 15 squares. And starting off with our orange as usual. And then we need to, well, this row finishes off our little ghost. So we need 2 blue. And then we need 3 white. All right, and then we go back to our blue. And then we need 8 blue and an orange at the end to finish off this row. So there's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. And then our orange here at the end to finish it off. All right, so this, which I said finishes off the ghost. So there is what it should look like now. And we can cut that white off as we don't need it anymore. And there's my needle. Okay, so that was 35, so row 36, we're going to chain 1 and turn And we're going to slip stitch in the first two, starting out with our orange, and switching over to blue. We're going to put 12 blue in and then an orange at the end, and that will be the whole row then. So we're just dealing with two colors now, the orange and the blue. So there is two. Three. Four. Five. Six. Seven. 8. 9. 10. 11. And 12. All right, and then we're going to switch over to the orange and finish it off right here. So that means there was 12 blue in between the two oranges. All right, and that is 14 squares. The next row will be 11 blue between the two oranges, and so forth until you get to row 47, which will only be, when you get to row 47, it'll be orange, blue, orange, so one of each. Okay, so keep going like this. It'll decrease itself if you do it right. And I will meet you for row 48. Okay, so this is 47 rows, and you should have one orange, one blue, and one orange. So you should only have 3 squares all together, but the colors in that order. All right, we're going to chain 1 and turn, and then we're going to cut off this blue because that was the end of that. All right, so now for row 48, we're going to slip stitch in the first 2 and start our square in that third one like we normally do. And then we're going to go to the next one right here and put an orange in there. So you should have 2 orange in row 48. Row 49, chain 1 and turn. It's easy. You're going to end up with 1 square in row 49 right here. And slip stitch. And then we can cut off that orange as well. All right. Let's take a look at our ghost. Here's our ghost. So cute. Okay, so the next thing that we do now is we need to put, sew in our ends, and then we're going to put a border on there. Now, I've already done the border last week when we did the jack-o'-lantern diamond. Go back to that one to do the border. It's the exact same border. And because I'm not going to go through the border again. So just go, if you need some help with the border, we've been doing the same border through all these diamonds. But if you need some help, go to the jack-o'-lantern and to where the borders are and do the border from there. Okay? And I hope you guys had a lot of fun making this cute little ghost diamond. I want to thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and bye bye now.